Yes, guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel and another live stream. And yes, today we're here for a brand new show. I'm bringing a brand new show to the channel, people. It's called Arsenal and Chill. Forget about Netflix and chill, people. This is Arsenal and Chill. And we are joined by an absolute legend. I've been watching this guy, people, for quite a while now. He knows his stuff. He's a very passionate Arsenal fan. Wow. And guys, listen, he's literally in the title. Old School Gunner, my friend Dave. How you doing, man? Thank you very much for coming on.
I'm very good, man. Thank you for having me on. I'm looking forward to this. And yeah, I didn't realize that you had a new stream out, Arsenal and Chill. So I'm absolutely delighted to be on the show. Thank you for inviting me. I'm in a good mood, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, mate. Anytime, you're always welcome. But yeah, guys, listen. Comments down below as always. Get them all in. We're talking about everything to do with Arsenal. We're diving into the season so far. Are we title favourites? Talk about Kai Havertz on fire recently. We're going to talk about the Champions League draw as well. We have, of course, draw FC Porto from Portugal. And we're going to be getting, of course, my man, Old School Gunner's thoughts on the transfer window coming up and some of the rumours that have been surfing around that. But yeah, let's get started, Dave. Let's get right into it, bro, because I want to get your thoughts, obviously, on the Gunners this season. And, we all, unfortunately, have to revisit last season very quickly. We all know what happened. The whole capitulation of, 8 points clear. And then a couple, towards the latter stages of the season, we didn't go for, folded for Arsenal. And we ended up finishing the season runners-up and winning, absolutely nothing. Now we're at this season, fast forward to this season, the transfer window, we signed Declan Rice, of course, fantastic signing. A very controversial signing in Kai Havertz, as we know. We'll talk about him a bit later on. Obviously, David Raya coming in as another goalkeeper. Very interesting signing that was. Julian Timber as well, who unfortunately got injured.
Fantastic player.
Another good signing as well. And obviously this season, we find ourselves currently in a fairly decent position, still in a very good title race at the moment. There's quite a few teams in and amongst that. You've got likes of Man City, who I know have dropped off a little bit, but you never really write Man City off because it's Man City, right? Liverpool look like they're back now as well. Aston Villa, could they be the next Leicester City?
They're up to third, man.
Yeah, and I know obviously we have a big game coming up at Anfield, which we'll talk about a bit later on. But Dave, bro, what has been your whole thoughts on Arsenal this season, bro?
I'm happy enough, I'll be honest with you. I'm happy enough. I still think we need a striker. I mean, if you would have offered me that we'd be in first place now at the start of the season, I would have taken it. Especially as what happened last season, it's important that we prove that it wasn't a one-hit wonder, that it wasn't just one season and then we're going to be struggling for 5th and 6th. It's important that we actually prove and show that we are capable of mounting a sustained title challenge. We got a lot of stick from rival fans at the end of last season when we capitulated, when we fell apart. I feel that the team done their very best to the end of last season. I mean, you can be Arteta in, guys. You can be Arteta out. I'm just gonna go off on this now, guys, and say it. Like, you can be Arteta in, you can be Arteta out. But last season, for example, I made the point and I stuck to my word that when the team were giving their all and when everybody was pushing in the one direction for the team, the fans should follow suit. We should all support the team and their endeavours, regardless of your feelings about Mikel Arteta, this, that, or the other. Some people like him, some people don't. At the end of the day, if you care about the club, come and support the club. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, Arteta will not be here forever. These players will come and go. You need to support the team. And when you're watching the game, when you're at the game, support the team for 90 minutes. That's all there is about it. I'm happy with us this season. I mean, I still think we need a striker. I still think we need a goal scorer that's going to smash in 20 goals a season. The problem is, who are we going to get and who's available? It's fine for me sitting here and going on my channel, guys. I have a channel too, yeah. It's fine for me going on my channel and saying, yeah, I think we need a striker. Who are we going to get? Who's available? I mean, I see they're looking at this 18-year-old player over in Brazil. Maybe he's coming over. Edu's been looking into that. My buddy Edu, yeah. Edu's been looking into that. But who are we going to get? If we could, we'd get Ivan Toney. I don't think that's possible. If we could get Ollie Watkins. I don't think that's possible either. But these two guys for me would fit the bill perfectly. Big up to my man Kai Havertz. He's really made me eat my words. I did a bit of humble pie the last couple of weeks, guys. If any of you saw one of my streams, I had my man Stapes formerly of the 3 Pointers TV YouTube channel. My man Stapes came on, diehard Gooner, season ticket holder. He came on and we absolutely slaughtered Havertz. Yeah, most recent performance. We tore him to pieces. We had a right go off him. But we were telling it like it was. He wasn't up to it. Simple as. He wasn't good enough. After that moment, I don't know, was he watching? I doubt it. But he just turned around completely. He just has been reborn. I mean, if he can continue like that for the rest of the season, I see Chelsea fans saying that he did the same for them, then he dropped off. His form dipped. You know what? He's playing with a confidence and he's playing with an ability. He's also looking for the ball. Not the last game he scored, not just that game, but the game before. Even against Villa, he was looking for the ball. He was calling for the ball. He wasn't hiding. When we were moving forward in the attack, he was looking for the ball. He was calling for the ball. He wanted the ball. He hasn't been shirking responsibility. So I've been happy with Havertz. I've been happy with our start to the season. Of course, we're first. I'm happy with the defense. The midfield, Declan Rice has been outstanding for us. Let's have it right.
Yeah.
The goal against Man U, and not just that, his all-round performances in every game. The goal against Man U, pushing us forward, having a shot. Some criticism that can be leveled at Arsenal is that we don't actually just have a crack now and again. You know what I mean? Have a crack. And that's what he did. He just had a crack. We got a bit of luck. The ball went in. And that set us on our way. Of course, we capped it off with the 3-1. Jesus on the break. A fantastic victory. I mean, that's what we were lacking. That's what we were lacking. And Rice has provided that to a certain extent. What's the situation with Thomas Partey? Is he injured or has he had a falling out with Mikel Arteta? I honestly don't know, Josh, man. Your guess is as good as mine. Tomiyasu, I think we're missing him a little bit. It would be good if he comes back. Martinelli last time out. You know, I'm a big fan of Martinelli's. He did good things in the game, but in the first half he was a little bit, I don't know, is he feeling a bit tired, maybe a bit leggy. Eddie Nketiah, love you to bits, Eddie, man. You know, and I'd support every player, but yeah, the pass for the goal, okay, Havertz, yeah, all right, fair enough, yeah. I don't know, by Eddie Nketiah, I mean, he couldn't have hit a barn door, you know what I mean? I could say something else there now, but I get you banned off YouTube, Josh, and you don't want that. Yeah, let me think. What else? I mean, I've been happy enough with the season, man. I've been happy enough. I mean, look at me. I'm smiling. I'm happy. I mean, we're first. It's going to be interesting. And you know what? I think the nicest thing is for the fans that go and support the team. I meant to be going to the West Ham game on the 28th.
Oh, nice.
My man Stapes from 3 Pointers, he used to be with them on a YouTube channel. He's going to be hooking me up with a ticket. Of course, I plan to leave the UK in February. So he's like, you're not going to be around for much longer, bro. Come to the Emirates. You know, let's have a few drinks. Let's go enjoy the game. Maybe create a little bit of content. The team are doing well, man. We can't complain. I said the defense are on it. I mean, we've got a massive game coming up at Anfield, and that's why I was glad that we beat Brighton at home. Like that game last season against Brighton, they just mauled us 3-0. We were just slaughtered in that game. This time round, we got the win, and we worked hard for it. I'm glad we won though because we got to go to Anfield, and I think the fact that they couldn't beat United. The frustration was there for all to see. I don't think they're going to make that mistake a second time. I'm not saying they're going to wipe the floor with us, but we're going to be in for a game, as always. I think they're going to really be up for it next time out, and we're the team in their way. After them dropping 2 points against United, but they should have won, let's be honest. They should have taken their chances. I think they're going to be really waiting for us, and I think that Klopp is going to be drilling them into them in training just to be a little bit sharper. I think our defense is fantastic. I mean, we don't have a fear. Raya has a shot stopper. We need to protect him a little bit. He's good at his distribution, but I don't think he's as good as Ramsdale at saving shots. That's just my opinion, guys. Raya, we need to protect at Anfield. The back four is good. The midfield is good. The attack, we'll see what happens. But
I was going to obviously ask you sort of like about our attack, right? Because I mean, this is what I took out the Brighton game. Like, we played very well, you know, and it's a fantastic result, you know. And talking about Brighton, they are a bit of a bogey side for Arsenal, you know. You said it last season.
Yeah,
we lost 3-0 at the Emirates for that game, and you know we don't really like playing against Brighton. But you know, we won the game. We played very, very well. We had plenty of chances in that game, and the prime example for me was the Aston Villa game against obviously Emery. The amount of chances we had and we never took. Do you think that's been an issue, sort of like the end product for Arsenal this season?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely, like even the last time out, not to mention the Villa game, but even the last time out, De Bruyne against Brighton. It was 1-0 and only 1-0 up until the end. Then Havertz struck for the second goal. If they had equalised through Pascal Gross, you saw that was a gilt-edged chance. But as soon as that happened, respects to the team, as soon as Gross came close to scoring, the team responded. They responded. They got the second goal. They went for it. They realised the danger. It was clear. So that was a good warning for us, but we're definitely not we're not taking the chances like we should be. We should be converting more than we are. But I've been impressed with Havertz so far, and I think he has stepped up a little bit for us. Hopefully he can maintain it, but I still think we need a forward. I still think we need a killer forward. I will always hark back. Obviously, we have had brilliant players at Arsenal like Thierry Henry, Alexis Sanchez, but as a striker, out and out, I will always think back to Didier Drogba, for example, at Chelsea. He would terrify defences. His name on the team sheet, they'd be shaking going onto the field. I'm serious. He was a real handful. Strong, good in the air, fantastic finisher. We need somebody that can do that can actually terrorize the defense. If they know that we have someone like that up front, they won't be sending the wing backs. They won't be pushing forward as easy. Yeah? They won't be committing people to the attack as readily. They won't leave themselves open. You know what I mean? It helps in every way, shape, or form when you have a forward like that up front, because the defense won't take the eyes off him. They won't be committing so much forward. The midfield won't be playing so high up. The press won't be beginning. You know what I mean? It just changes everything when you've got a player like that up front. And I think we need to really look at it.
I 100% agree. And talking about our current forwards, we've got Jesus, right? Now, I rate Jesus. I think, he's a quality player. Everything he does off the ball, on the ball, the way he links up play, he drops back. In terms of, you said, you talk about a proper striker, right? We're talking about a goal scorer, right? And you mentioned a great example. Drogba, yeah? Unbelievable player. I think the closest we ever had to someone like Drogba, and probably Van Persie, wasn't it, in terms of that goal scorer?
Yeah, I'd agree with that, yeah.
In terms of the guy who's very, prolific. Our current strikers right now, we've got Jesus, who for me, I mean, the stats don't lie. And I don't basically think the stats, we've all got eyes. I'm sure we all use our eye test, right? He's a very good player. But goal scoring wise, he scored 14 goals in his whole, his height he's got in terms of his whole career. It's 14 goals in one season. And then if he's having an off day, which he was against Aston Villa, we have Eddie Nketiah coming off to replace him. This is what we're trying to say here. Like, I 100% agree with you. We need another striker. And there's a few names out there I can give to you. I mean, let me know your thoughts on the main striker. But for me, I've always said Ivan Toney. I feel like he's a goal scorer. I feel like he's very prolific. I feel like
brilliant player. Yeah.
I mean, I get he's banned and he's not been playing football. That's the only concern I have. He's been out of football for quite a few months now. But what I will say, this guy last season bagged 20 goals playing for Brentford. With all due respect, playing for Brentford, right? Look at the service he had at Brentford, and now compare it if he comes to a team like Arsenal, with the likes of Odegaard around him, Saka on one win, Martinelli on the other win. The amount of goals this guy will score, he's a target man. We love to get crossed into the box. When does Jesus and Eddie Nketiah really score a header? When do we really score headers? Let's be honest with it. Unless it's from like a corner. But in terms of our strikers, I'm talking about. Tony loves, obviously, a header. He's a target man. He's physical. Yeah, he's someone who can hold the ball up. I watched this guy when they played Man City last season and they did the double over him. That link-up play with Mbeumo was superb.
He's lethal, right? Tony is lethal around the box. Lethal.
Exactly. So he'll be my first choice. But I want to ask you, mate, who would be your ideal striker for Arsenal?
Well, I'm a big fan of Ivan Toney, man, but I like Ollie Watkins at Villa.
Yeah.
Big fan of Watkins, man. I was saying it for the past couple of seasons, but he was a little bit off form. People kind of took it with a pinch of salt. But this season, he is right back on it. And it made me sit up and think again, I've been mentioning him for a while. I think he is just an incredible player. He is strong. He is physical. I think Tony is better than him. I'm not going to lie. But I think for our team, I think Ollie Watkins fits the bill. He'll do exactly what we need. Box-to-box player. He's got heart. He's got spirit. He is determined. He does not give up. He will not give up. Like, he's proven that in many games. He hasn't had a sniff. Last minute, who's that man at the near post? It's my man Watkins. He's just a brilliant player. You can't keep him quiet for the full 90. It's impossible. He might miss a couple of chances, but at the end of the day, when the chips are down, man, he's there to finish. And when he gets on the one-on-one against the centre-backs, he beats the keeper. He'll draw the centre backs out. He'll draw the keeper out. He's a cool head. He makes the finishes look easy a lot of the time. It's like a side foot almost. It's not easy, guys. He's a brilliant, brilliant player. He spots the angle. He spots the run. He makes a little run, receives the ball. He finishes it off. He makes it look easy. It's not easy. This is Premier League. This is professional. Another thing, that's what I like. These guys are coming with Premier League experience. That's what they're bringing with them. And that is what we need, because we're going to be signing them in January, guys. They don't have the summer. They don't have a month, to prepare themselves. They're going to be thrown straight into the mix. We want Premier League experience. The one problem I think about the January window, if we do sign a striker, is we're not just looking for a striker to solidify our position as number one and just ease over the line. We're looking to sign a striker that is going to decide our season. And that's what Arsenal fans, that's what we all need to be aware of. That is what has come into my mind in the last couple of days when I have been on my own channel. People have been sharing their opinions. And I have thought myself after the stream, before the stream, when I'm at work. We're in a position where the signing we make is very important, because it is going to decide our season. Champions League, Premier League. It's going to dictate everything for us. We're not just looking for a player to support Eddie Nketiah. We're looking for a player to come in and be our number one striker, to contribute a lot of goals. And that is a big ask. That's why we need to go for someone like Ivan Toney, Ollie Watkins. I don't think there's a hope in hell we get Ollie Watkins from Villa, but maybe we can get Ivan Toney. I hope. You know what I mean? I hope. He is a brilliant player, man.
Yeah, he sure is, man. I've always been a fan of this guy. Even when he was in the Championship, other than Mitrovic, I think he broke the record before Mitrovic was scoring.
He's lethal, man. He is lethal. When he plays against our defense, and you know how good they were last season, when he plays against our defense, he was turning fellas on their backsides.
Yes.
He had them sliding all over the place. They couldn't even touch him. He hit the left post. He hit the right post. He cracked one against the bar. He's unplayable. I was looking and I was like, who is that? It's Ivan Toney, man. Look at him go. He's flying. Yeah. And our defense is, we're no pushover, man. He was leaving fellas on their backsides. I mean, it's like, oh, Jesus. He's turned very sharp in the box, man. He's like, great balance, great control, a real eye for goal, though. He cracks it against the post. I was like, geez, what a player. He's an animal, man. We got a 1-1 in that game. Don't ask me how, because he was destroying us. We managed to get a 1-1 in that game. I don't know how, but he's a brilliant player.
No, it's true.
Ivan Toney, man.
I mean, I remember that game.
For a bet. If anyone wants some betting advice, Tony's your man. If you want to put a bet on a horse, guys, or a dog, or I don't know what he was betting on, Aston Villa to win the league, trust me, guys, Tony's your man. He's got contacts.
I remember, that game against, and funny you mentioned it, the game last season, wasn't it? The Emirates one, the 1-1. And obviously, everyone's started moaning about when they forgot to draw the lines, that game. But honestly, I never saw, and this guy's a Rolls Royce, we know it. I never seen Saliba struggle a lot when I saw him against someone like Ivan Toney, right? Yeah. He was struggling, Saliba, against Toney.
Yeah.
Because all Toney was doing is getting the ball holding up so well, Saliba couldn't handle him and then laying it off to Mbemo. Exactly what happened when they played Man City last season. Now, my only issue with, and this is my only issue with Toney, right, is for you, right, we've seen how Arteta deals with sort of like egos and attitude problems, right? Do you think that Arteta will go for someone in terms of sort of like Toney's attitude, because and sort of someone who's been involved, and you mentioned it, yeah, people can all joke about it, but the whole betting. Do you really think Arteta, because we've seen Arteta do like when Doozy, for example, when Doozy made one mistake, he's frozen out completely. Yeah, I think Ozil frozen out completely. Aubameyang frozen out completely because these players had egos, had attitudes. Could you see a similar thing happen with Toney here?
I think that is a possibility. I think that's a very good point, Josh, because I have thought about that myself at times. Ivan Toney is not he's not a mouse. He's not afraid to say what he feels. He's not afraid to stand up and be counted. He lets his impression be felt on the training ground as well as in the dressing room and on the pitch. He's no pushover. Arteta does like to Arteta wants players to be respectful, arrive on time for training, we all know about that, yeah. He's got a real hard edge to him, Arteta, when it comes to these things. He wants the player to toe the line, but there's no reason that he can't strike up a good relationship and a balance with Ivan Toney. I mean, Toney wants to win games. Toney wants to win titles. Tony's not there for the good of his health. Money's money at the end of the day. You know, it's easy to get for these footballers. Tony wants to win something, I'm sure. I'm sure they could strike up a balance and a mutual respect between them. And they're both professionals, let's be honest about it. And yeah, Ivan Toney, incredible player. You know what? He could even take some of the younger lads under his wing, like all due respect to Eddie and Ketia. You know what I mean? An old training session with him and Ketia together. Ivan Toney showing him the ropes, just maybe give him a few pointers. It wouldn't be a bad thing. Because to be honest, I think it's unfair just to kind of kick poor Eddie out. You know, I'm a fan of Eddie's, but Eddie just needs to sharpen up with his technique and his finishing, and I think he could be something. And maybe Ivan Toney is the man that can also help in training and actually, you know, show him how to play centre forward. Like Toney, like you said, against Saliba, he's a ferocious competitor, but he's also rangy. I don't think people realise that. I don't know what height he is, but he looks pure rangy to me. He's tall, he's athletic, he's not carrying too much weight, he's very quick, and he's tall. I mean, he get his head on the ball, he get his foot on the ball, and like you said, he's good at shielding. Against Saliba, he got himself between Saliba and the ball every single time, and he is a menace. He's a menace. He's just, I was like, who asked that player? It's not even Tony, man. He was just destroying us last year. He's just a brilliant player. He's just a natural goal scorer. Do I think he could get on with Arteta? Yeah, I do. Because they both want to win, and they want success. And if he starts providing the goals, job done. He'll be in Arteta's starting lineup. The whole thing with David Raya, I just want to talk a little bit about that. I don't know what you think about it, my man, but
this whole goalkeeper situation, it's interesting because
Ramsdale.
Did you really expect it, like a goalkeeper coming in after how good Ramsdale was last season for us?
No.
It's a very baffling signing.
Yeah, and Ramsdale didn't expect it, I'm sure, because after the season he had last season, I'm sure he thought his place was secure. Then the thing with his father speaking out. What game was it we played? It wasn't the game in the Champions League. It was the one in the league. I think was it a cup game? Ramsdale came on, and he looked very, very nervous against Brentford.
Carabao Cup, yeah.
Brentford, because Raya was cup tied. Raya was tied.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Would you blame Ramsdale for being nervous? Because all the confidence that he had drained out of him at that point. He was short of match practice. I'm on about competitive games. Training is only training, guys. I'm on about real games here. This is the real deal. His confidence was shot. People then talking about his confidence. What did they expect?
Yeah, exactly.
What did they expect? Look what happened. Raya came in straight over his head. Raya's number one. Ramsdale's on the bench. Then the thing about Mikel Arteta, he obviously doesn't rate poor Ramsdale that much. Ramsdale's days are numbered. His dad speaks out. Ramsdale is lacking confidence. Ramsdale is a young guy. Let's not forget that. People then wondering why his confidence was shook. Jesus, my confidence would be shook as well. I mean, he hasn't been getting games. The manager's not shown any faith in him, obviously. Raya comes in and just takes over. He gets put back to being on the subs bench. Of course, he was going to be shaky in that game. And Raya, for me, is flapping at the ball when it comes in. He's not a good shot stopper.
I'm sure you saw
the Pascal Gross chance. Did you see the Pascal Gross chance?
Yeah,
Raya just kind of he left the near post completely open.
Yeah. No.
He just sat himself up in the middle of the goal.
But I'll give you like the prime example.
Was near post. I can't.
I'll give you the prime example, right? That Luton Town game. Look how poor Raya was. Look at some of the goals that we conceded because of Raya.
Flapping, man. He was flapping and everything.
But this is the thing that I don't get. He had an awful game against Luton Town, yeah. But plays the next one. When Ramsdale makes one mistake, no, you'll drop, mate. Arteta's not fair with it. He's not fair with it. Like, and Arteta said he's literally said it when we signed Raya. We can equally rotate them. He's not been equally rotating these two goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Because Raya was awful against Luton Town, and you know what's his reward? Oh, he plays the next one. But I'm sure if that was Ramsdale, we've already seen treatment Ramsdale. Ramsdale will only play these cup matches. And pointless games against PSV when we was already through. You know, Ryan is number one.
The thing is, I don't think that's a good point, man. But I don't think that Ramsdale is England's number one as such. Just my own belief, yeah. But at a certain level, he is a very good goalkeeper. And is David Raya better than him? In my opinion, no. His distribution is maybe a little bit better. But if you saw in the Brentford game, poor Aaron Ramsdale, I actually felt for him, man, because like I said, the confidence was shot to pieces. His head was down. His confidence was down, shot to pieces, like I said. He was getting so much stick, but he actually tried to play like David Raya, which I thought was the most sad thing for him. He was trying to distribute the ball like David Raya because that is what Mikel Arteta needs. That is what Mikel Arteta wants. I honestly don't think that Aaron Ramsdale needs to change his game just so drastically. He's a brilliant shot stopper. When he came on and he replaced Bernd Leno, he was immediately struck up a good camaraderie with the back four. He was bigging up, chest bumping with Tomiyasu. He was G'ing the guys up when he saved a shot or when they did some good defending. His concentration, his communication was perfect with the back four. I mean, it was like day and night between him and Leno. So I don't think that he needs to change too much. I know certain people like Mani. I don't know. You know Mani, I take it. Mani's very active on YouTube. Big up to my man Mani and my friend Mani. Respect.
Yes.
But Mani is not a fan of Aaron Ramsdale, and I respect that, yeah. But I don't think he needs to change his game drastically to be our number one goalkeeper. I don't think David Raya is up to much. I mean, like you said, man, at Kenilworth Road, he was all over the place, man. He was all over the shop. He didn't know what. He didn't know. It was just like, oh man, seriously. I mean, what was going on with him? And Arteta he blindly sticks to players that he likes. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's another, like Eddie Nketiah, that's another sign of it now with Raya.
Yes.
He's not as good as we first thought. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Emery would do us a favor. What's Emi Martinez doing? You know what I mean? He's got a couple of weekends free. Maybe he can come play for us. They're up to third, man. They're on 37 points. They're 1 point behind us. They're breathing
But we got to look at this in reality as well, yeah. With look at the players' point of view. Now we had his dad come out and say, you know, they weren't happy with it, right? Because they was promised game time, you know, when Ryan was signed, and they didn't expect this. Ante never told the parents this, right? But you got to look at it as a player's point of view. You got to look at Ramsdale. And you know, Ramsdale's not going to be happy playing these cup matches. That is it. Ramsdale's going to want the game time. Ramsdale's going to be wanting to get England number one for the Euros, of course. So when it comes to the January window, and there's clubs like Newcastle who need a goalkeeper, could we possibly see Ramsdale, you know, end up leaving at this current situation?
Yeah, absolutely. The thought has crossed my mind the last week or two. He has to go for his own career. I mean, like the fact he played against Brentford was only because your man was cup tied. You know what I mean? Because Raya was cup tied. I mean, he's not back in as our number one. All right, Tony, here you go. There you go. I gotta do it. I gotta do it for you, Josh, because I'll never hear the end of it, man. Josh, I'm doing this for you, yeah. I'm doing this for you, Josh. Because honestly, if I don't do this, we will never hear the end of it. He will be going on and on and on. The man has nothing better to do, with all due respects to him. He's nothing better to do than to sit there looking at us and just going, you know what I mean? So I'm going to do this now just to ease the pain. My friends, I have a couple of friends saw me the other day with this and they were like, what are you doing, man? Would you turn a front? I can't because Anthony's watching. When Anthony's on the stream, I have to do this. Josh, I'm doing this for you, Josh. I'm doing this for your channel because he will he'll make your life a misery, Josh. He'll be texting you at 4 a.m. You know what I mean? This kind of thing.
Oh, big up Anthony, man.
No, I have to lose my train of thought because Anthony's got some big guns on him, man. Anthony's got some big guns on him, man. But watch out, Anthony, I'm Irish. No, but we're just animals, basic. But yeah, listen, Aaron Ramsdale will have to move on. And this is not me trying to generate a good conversation for your channel. This is my opinion. He's going to have to go. I mean, anybody worth their salt, he's better than that. He's better than sitting on the bench at Arsenal. He needs first team football, and he's a good enough keeper to get it. He needs to make a move for his career, for his England career. It's as simple as that. There's a gun against his head, guys. He can't do anything about it. He needs to go. I'm sure he'd be crying on his way out of the ground when he leaves. He doesn't want to go, but he has to go. He has to. We all have to do things in life we don't want to do. He's going to have to go because Arteta doesn't rate him at all. And Raya's got his foot in the door. Raya's going to be number one for the whole season. It doesn't matter what he plays like. Arteta thinks he's the bee's knees by. Arteta thinks he's the finished article, greatest keeper that ever lived. You know, he has his favourites. And Ramsdale needs to go. It's as simple as that. For his England career, like there's Jordan Pickford, there's many guys ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, this is a thing as well. Ramsdale does, if he does eventually go, which I agree, I do think he will, then we have to go again and get another goalkeeper because Raya and obviously we'll get Ryan permanently, as we know. But if something happens to Ryan, then we have to have Kai Havertz as a backup now. So that's another position we have to go and splash. Is get another backup goalkeeper now because obviously Ramsdale's going to want to leave. So there's plenty of positions that we need in this window, man.
Yeah. Arteta has created this problem with Ramsdale and Raya, though. I mean, like you said, if he rotated the two of them, like he said at the start, I'm sure Aaron would be happy with that. but he's just being made number 2, doesn't know when his next game is coming. Imagine what it's like for him in training. I mean, it is demoralizing. Let's be honest about it. Okay, you have to suck it up and you have to show a bit of backbone and, stiff upper lip and give your best and hopefully get back into the manager's good graces. But Arteta is just the kind of guy that, like you said, with Guendouzi, for example, when Arteta's mind's made up, you could put in unbelievable performances in training, but at the end of the day, he's not going to be on the team sheet. He's not going to be in the starting 11. He's only going to be on the bench because they need a replacement keeper in case anything happens to Raya. I mean, that is the honest to God truth of it. But Arteta has made the situation now with, I don't know, he's upset things a little bit. And like you said, in January, we're not just looking for a forward now. We need to look for a goalkeeper maybe, because who's going to be our number 2? It's true. You know what I mean? We don't have the quality. We don't have the strength and depth. All of this should have been organized last summer. Yeah, we shouldn't be doing this in January. I mean, things this serious, and the fact that we need like a match-winning striker, a top quality forward in January. I mean, we're really grasping at straws. The thing that kind of unnerved me a little bit was when Mikel Arteta turned around like a month ago, and he actually came out and said when the pressure was mounting about a striker, he turned when Havertz was misfiring, before Havertz got on it, he was turning around and saying, "You don't need a new striker. The goals are going to come collectively from the team." Now that is like fantasy. That is fanciful, this kind of talk. That set the alarm bells ringing for me, because we're not talking about against, with all due respect to, let me think, with all due respect to any team that we have beaten well this season. Now we beaten by a good couple of goals. We don't need the striker for that. We need a striker for the Etihad. We need a striker for Old Trafford. We need a striker for Anfield, St. James's Park, places like that. You know what I mean? That's what we need a top quality striker for, because we might only get 2 or 3 chances at Anfield, for example. That's why we need him. It's not for when we're cruising 5-0 at home. You know what I mean? Arteta, we don't need a striker. What's he talking about? The goals are going to come from the team collectively. That's all well and good. But we always had a Thierry Henry up front. We had an Ian Wright. We had an Alan Smith. You need a focal point of the attack. Eddie Nketiah, Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, with all due respects to them, not good enough. It's not going to work like that for us. You'll see, man. We need someone that's a little bit better. We need someone that's a little bit better for that trip to Anfield, for that trip we already had, for our trip to Porto. Do you know what I mean? It's games like that where it makes the difference. 2 chances, he scores 1.
Yeah. I know, 100% agree. Yeah, you made some great points as always, bro. Now, I want to ask you this question in terms of this title, because I put it Arsenal title favourites. For you to sit there as an Arsenal fan and sit there and say, I'm very confident that we can go all the way this season. Obviously, last season we know what happened. What is it for you? Is it us getting the striker which got us over the line? Is it going to specific grounds like Anfield and picking up 3 points, for example, going to the Etihad and getting a good result? What is it for you which will sit there and say we can go all the way this season and win this league title?
We need to get it forward. We need goals. Now we have a good goal difference now. Yeah, check the Premier League table, guys. I'm always looking at it. We have a decent enough goal difference now. But we need to improve in our finishing. We are very creative. The defense and midfield, I think, is pretty much a good thing. We just need a target man up front. That's what will make the difference. We got Martinelli rating on the left. We have Saka rating on the right, whichever way you want it. Whichever way you want to put my man Trossard in. Whichever way you want to mix it up, yeah. Eddie Nketiah. But that's the way it should be. We need that focal point to the attack. I mean, big up as well to Trossard, man. I have to say, he's got us a couple of decent goals along the line as well this season. He can hold his head up high. Havertz, no shame in what they're doing, yeah. But we just need to take it to the next level with that striker. That is what's going to make the difference for us. Of course, our away form needs to be good, but those 2 things go hand in hand. You're scoring more goals, you're more dangerous. It goes hand in hand. It changes the dynamic. You remember when Saliba got injured last season? Now, these are different positions. These are centre forward and main striker. But when Saliba got injured, it wasn't just defensively. Everything was affected by that. We couldn't press high up the field. We couldn't commit so many players forward because he kept things locked down at the back. Same if we got a better quality striker. I'm telling you, man, watch their defense. They will be freaking. They'll be worried about him. You know what I mean? They'll be overcompensating, and that will ease up. That will open up space for Saka rating, for Martinelli rating, because they'll be covering him. You know what I mean? player we need has to be a really good one, a real handful, just to free up space for players that when we're going forward on the attack, it will change the dynamic completely, and we're going to score more goals.
I mean,
that's going to bring us over the line. We're close, I think. We're close to actually being, if we get a top quality striker, I think it's enough, because Rice in the midfield has really driven us forward. Odegaard is on it. Havertz is chipping in with goals. The defence have got it locked down. I mean, Evan Ferguson is the Irish striker that plays for Brighton.
He's your man, isn't he,
He's a real handful, Josh. He didn't get a kick. This guy's a monster. He didn't get a kick of the ball against us.
Yeah.
The defence have got it locked down. It's the forward we need. Like a comment in here from Tom Red. Let's stop twerking for Solanke. Get me Ivan Toney. Solanke is a good player. Anyway.
Yeah, I was going to go to this comment, but big up Ade, by the way. This is, you see how City have got Erling Haaland, right? That is similar to who we need, in my opinion. And I think someone like Ivan Toney gives you, and I'm not comparing these to Haaland's
Goal machine.
But you got strikers like Ivan Toney, Victor Osimhen, someone who's the so-called prolific striker, right? That is someone who we need, in my opinion, to take us over that line. And this is when I say this, people think I'm digging out Gabriel Jesus. I'm not digging him out at all. But if Jesus is having an off day, which he has done in the past, and he's got injured in the past as well, and he's a quite injury-prone player, right? And I say this, he's not going to bag you lots of goals. He's very, very good, but he's not a clinical goal scorer.
No.
Someone like Ivan Toney, Osimhen, these are players I'm talking about, who Man City have got Erling Haaland exactly, can bag 50 goals a season, right? Someone like that would be perfect for Arsenal, in my opinion. But yeah, guys, keep leaving comments. Absolute legends in the chat as always. And if you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe to my man, OldSkoolGunner. Literally in the title, give my man a sub. He's so close
to
1900,
guys. I've already got 1900. If you want,
he's so close to 2K, man. Get into 2K.
I'm on my way, guys. I'm on my way either way. You know what I mean? With or without your help. That's the confidence of the man. Confidence. Big up to you guys. Big up, man. Sasky saying that Sasky thinks that, I don't know, is Sasky a man or a woman? Pardon me. Thinks that they are the real old school gunner, yeah, and not me. We'd have to see about that. You know what I mean? Challenge accepted. I mean, shit, I'm a dinosaur.
But yeah,
I'm like Kenny Ken. I'm like Kenny Ken. You know what I mean? I'm starting to look like him every day. Yeah, I can look like the white version of Kenny Ken. You know what I mean?
With a full beard.
And Anthony's got this going on. You know, so I kind of all I need to do now, right, is go out and get a skateboard and relive my youth. You know what I mean? Go up the road on a skateboard. I'm gonna break my neck. I know it's gonna happen. Anyway,
but yeah, I want to move on to Kai Havertz now.
Yeah,
this guy, because I'll be honest, right? He's making my words a little bit right now. And I get it's still early on, right? You know, but what we'll say, since the international break, he went away, he played left back for Germany in the international break, right? He's came back and he's looked a totally different player.
Yeah.
In terms of his confidence levels, this guy looks so much more confident on the ball. This guy's been scoring goals. This guy actually looks like he cares. When I thought when we first signed him, he was ghosting quite a few games, in my opinion.
Kai Havertz. Yeah.
Yeah, and when we first signed him, I was a big critic. I was like 65 million from a guy who I saw, play for Chelsea for 3 years. It's just he's not good enough for Arsenal, right? And I think the most annoying thing was me with the signings because we could have got James Maddison, who would have been perfect for us for about 40 million. And he obviously went to our biggest rivals now. And look how well he's done there. I know he's injured now, but look how well he did there, right? So that's my biggest criticism, was the fact that we could have got better than Kai Havertz, right? But I'm always fair with it. I always hold my hands up and say, I want this guy to prove me wrong. And I hold my hands up and say, I completely got it wrong about him, right? If he proves me wrong. And these past couple of games, he's been not just because he's been scoring goals, it's his overall play. I've been really impressed with. He's been consistent. And that's what I asked from Kai Havertz. But I wanted to get your thoughts on him, man. What has been your thoughts on Kai Havertz? Was you one of those at the start who was sort of like criticizing him? Is he making you eat your words as well? Or, you know?
Yeah, I started out with a lot of hope for Kai Havertz. I believed in him when I heard he was coming to the club. I raised an eyebrow at the 65 million. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell it straight. I raised an eyebrow at the 65 million. We were just after forking out 100 mil on, my man Declan Rice, man. Rice, baby. Money well spent, in my opinion. But the 65 for Havertz, I was like, he wasn't our first choice, really, I think, in that position, what we wanted. Yeah, we wanted Mudryk or, but we got Havertz, 65 million. Look, he has a name. I wouldn't say he had a good reputation from his time at Chelsea. It was before that, when he was in Germany, is when he was really banging in the goals. He didn't do much at Chelsea, but when he came to the club, I was full of promise, maybe hope, that with the team that we have, I honestly thought that why he wasn't doing well was because of what was going on at Chelsea. Maybe with the way our team is under a bit of a renaissance, it'll be a good move for him, a good move for everyone, yeah, for both parties involved. And of course, good for the fans. We did fork out a lot of money. I was thinking to myself, all right, let's see what this guy's got. I did think he was a good player, to be honest, when we signed him. His start was atrocious, but I think people were too much on his back as well a little bit because of the fee. I remember back in the day, now I'm going back to 1995, guys. They were on Dennis Bergkamp's back in the day, yeah?
Wow.
Until he scored in the 7th game, yeah? Our home game against Southampton, he scored his first goal. Now, they were on a player of the caliber of Dennis Bergkamp's back. Now, that tells you all you need to know about the media and the fans, yeah? We can be fickle. Like, when you're talking about a player like Dennis Bergkamp, it was only a matter of time before his qualities as a player came to the fore. It was written. It was always going to be that way. The seasons, the career he had at Arsenal, it was a no-brainer. He was always going to be a success. So that's the way people are sometimes. They were kind of on Bergkamp's back. They were on Havertz's back. I'm not comparing those two players for 1 second there. There's a massive different class there between Bergkamp and Havertz. But that's the way it is sometimes. We were all a little bit hard on him. He obviously was listening to what he read in the press. He was listening to what he read in the media. But now he's really started to show form. And like you said, it's not just the goals. It's his all-round play. His link-up play, his moves, himself and Nketiah are like sparking up a bit of a relationship up front. They're starting to read each other. He's always looking to get the ball out wide past the last man, and he runs in at the angle and finishes. He made the finish against Brighton look easy. It wasn't easy. He was quick, and he had one thing on his mind when he got the ball, and that's what I liked. It was a clinical finish. He had one thing on his mind. He wasn't looking
to be composed as well, didn't he, in that position? He had to have that composure, you know, because most players just fluffed it. So to have that composure in that position as well, and the game's 1-0, big pressure to kill the game off. And you know, he did really well there, didn't he?
And everybody was missing. Everybody was missing the chances. He stepped up and he showed a clinical, just an awareness. He said, I'll just hug out on her on the left. I'll wait for the right ball. And when it comes, he was already moving. He moved onto it, into the box, slaughtered it past the keeper. He made it look easy. It wasn't that easy as he made it look. It was a nice finish. Like you said, composure, calm. He didn't slice the ball. You know what I mean? He made sure of it. It was a good finish. Got us to 2-0. And like I said, that was a massive win when you look ahead to the Anfield game. He's going to cause them problems. If he starts, I say if he starts, who else is going to start, I suppose? But if he's, who else do we have? But if he starts, he's really going to do something for us. I mean, he's starting to repay the 65 million. Look, Chelsea are a club that notoriously want the value for the player. Chelsea are notorious for that. It doesn't matter who the player is. They want to get what they see as what he's rated as. So it was always going to be expensive for us. But I think he's repaid it a little bit. And long may that continue. It's nice for me personally to see him doing well at the club, scoring goals. The fans are loving it. I mean, 60 million down the drain, 65 down the drain. Kai Havertz scores again.
Yeah.
There's a good buzz, and he's getting more and more confident. He can do a lot for us this season. If he hit 15, 16 goals, man, all well and good, but we still need that striker, I believe.
Agreed.
It's like I said, it's in those tight games, man.
Yeah.
It's in the tight matches. That's when we need a new striker, yeah. And I mean, Havertz can have a role. He can play a part. Nketiah, we'll have to see. Jesus, I think he can play a role at the club. But someone has to be go when we get the new striker, yeah. And I think it will be Eddie Nketiah will leave if we get the new striker. But Arteta is notoriously stubborn. It's almost like he's trying to... It's almost like he wants to prove it to himself that his choice was right with Nketiah. We don't have the time. People are saying at the end of the season, Arteta needs to leave. I think we should wait till next season also and give him the benefit of the doubt and give him next season too. I know the 700 million he spent. I get it, guys. Listen, I listened to it myself on my channel and I'm blue in the face. It's grand. I know what you're saying. 700 million spent, hasn't delivered the title yet. I get it. But I think also next season we should give Arteta. But I think the board are going to keep Arteta then in for a long time. And that's why he can afford to be like this with his skills. He needs to be a bit more cut and dry, a little bit more like Pep. Like he is like that sometimes when they disrespect him, but he needs to look at Nketiah and say he's not going to be good enough for us, and he needs to leave.
But this is the thing, right, Dave? Like, and we said it in the past. He does have his favourites as manager.
Yeah, he does.
Because this guy decided to keep Eddie Nketiah over someone like Florian Balogun, for example. If you remember in the summer,
yeah, Balogun.
I know Balogun's doing poor for Monaco right now, but I thought it's a bit harsh how Balogun was treated because he played one pre-season game against Nürnberg. Yeah. That was it.
He's at the same level as Nketiah. He's not worse than him.
Exactly. So
he's better than him, actually.
Plus, yeah, we rejected a £35 million bid from Crystal Palace for Eddie Nketiah. And I'm like,
perfect.
Yeah. You know, you got to, for me, I don't rate Eddie Nketiah. Okay. I don't think the thing with Eddie Nketiah, I don't see the consistency. He comes in, he scores his first couple of games, and he has a massive drop in form where he just ghosts.
He has bad technique, Josh. He has very bad football
technique. Very bad technique.
He has bad technique when he shoots. Terrible technique. Awful.
Exactly. But yeah, look, I mean, as you said with the manager as well, right? He spent a lot of money. And, you know, we all have our opinions on Arteta. Of course. I've been a big critic of this manager. I'll be real with it, right? But he's been doing a fantastic job. Okay. The fact he got in the title race. The thing is now, he's got his own players, right? He spent the money now. He has to deliver us at least a trophy, in my opinion. This is the thing. Even if he doesn't, this is my issue, which we all have. Yeah, if he doesn't deliver, if we finish second again, we win nothing. He will stay. This owner, this board will not sack him.
No.
The only way I see this manager leaving is he actually said it last season. He's like he questioned himself about himself, saying, "Am I actually good enough to manage this because of how we capitulated?" He actually said it in his press conference. He's like, at one point, I was considering leaving because of what happened. That is the only way I see this guy. I think Barcelona, they're in for a new manager. If Xavi doesn't win the La Liga, he can be going to Barcelona. That is the only way I see Arteta leaving. I don't see this board sacking because this board have hyped this guy up so much.
He's a yes man as well, but
he's a yes man. Yeah, exactly. You know, so this whole board, the whole process, the whole phases, all these words that have been coming in through this manager, the fact that they've backed him more than any other manager that we've had. You know, 700 million is going to hopefully go a long way for us, and we hopefully become successful with it. And I hope Arteta does succeed. But as fans, you know, there's got to be a point as well. I mean, this is our longest title drought in our history, if I'm not mistaken.
Next season is 20 years, man.
20 years. You're lucky enough to see us win the title.
Yeah, I did.
Someone like me,
three times.
I've never seen it. So, you know, there's got to be a point where we've got to sit there and say, Arteta's taken us this way, but do we need someone else to get us that elite level to get us over that line and actually to win these league titles, to compete and win the Champions League for once? But we have to wait and see. I really do hope Arteta succeeds, of course. And yeah, it's a big season for him, that's for sure. But yeah, talk about Kai Havertz in terms of just his role quickly, because he's playing in this position, sort of like the left centre mid role, where we saw Granit Xhaka play and actually succeed there last season. You know, he's getting forward, scoring many goals, always in the box. You know, and everyone's saying, "Wow, this is a new Granit Xhaka." You know, he's playing in a more advanced position. We saw Partey sort of sit back and protect the defence in front of them, and we saw Xhaka sort of go forward and grab himself a few goals and start creating some big chances for us. Right? It's very similar to Kai Havertz, but at Chelsea, he's playing as a centre forward, and we've seen him play there against Man City. For you, right, what do you see Kai Havertz's best position as?
That's an interesting question, man. Seriously, that is an interesting question. I mean, the 5 goals he's scored, a little bit of luck with some of them. The last one was a good one. I'm going to say that. The one before that too, but I don't know, man. He doesn't seem like an out-and-out striker to me. Not an out-and-out centre forward, like not an Alan Shearer, Les Ferdinand type. I'll go back a bit now, guys. I don't see him as like a Jurgen Klinsmann character. I think it is good when he is given that freedom to roam. I mean, he does have a physicality, Havertz. He is a big, rangy player. He's a tall guy, long legs. He tends to get his foot in. He's also helped us in the midfield and defensively at times by actually putting his body on the line. He's a big lad. He gets his foot in. Tall guy. His best position, AFC always thinks, Best position for 29 on the bench.
On the bench.
Not going to say any more than that. Big up to AFC always, man. Great to have
Big
you
up
on the
AFC
screen.
always, man.
And big up to Tony from Early Doors. Regulars
Yes,
on
Tony, good to see you, bro. Big up Early
Big up
Doors.
to my man, Tony, man. I think I'm going to the West Ham game, Tony. Anyway, let me get back to Havertz. Best position, I think, attacking midfielder. You know, I think he can play that role because he covers the ground a lot. He can be defensively a little bit first as well, get his foot in, and, you know, just he can turn and pivot, and we can get going from that position where he wins the ball just immediately on the attack. We have the players flying in off the wings to do it. We have Martinelli one side, Saka the other, maybe Jesus up front. I think we can use him as a wild card because he can score, and he is always looking to overload the defense. He's always looking just to get in on one side and finish a chance off. And he is a different player to the other players we have. They all do different things. Trossard plays differently to him. He plays differently to Jesus. He brings us something different. You saw that little bit of experience in the game against Brighton. He hugged the line. He was aware of the offside. When the ball came, he made sure he made the run at the right time. He received the ball and he finished the chance. A little bit of composure, a little bit of experience, it was enough to unlock their defense. And he beat them all ends up. It was a great finish. And it secured the win. Let's be honest about it. 1-0 is always precarious. He took the chance well, and he brings something different to the team. He plays differently to other players. We have a mixed bag now, and you know what? That's what I was aware of the last game. We have a mix. Players that can do different things. And it's good to see. It's like when we had Cesc Fabregas or we had Thomas Rosicky. Remember, I'll go back to 98 or 2002. On one side of the field, we had Mark Overmars. On the other side, we had Ray Parlour. In the midfield, we had Vieira and Petit. Sometimes we had, instead of Mark Overmars, there was times when Robert Pires was there. I mean, the difference for me was always between Pires and Lundberg. Lundberg and Perez were two completely different players, the way they would play. But both of them were equally as effective. Two brilliant players. Yeah. The defense against us, they didn't know what was happening. They didn't know which way to turn. Because Lundberg would do one thing. He was a trickster. Pires was left-footed. Well, he was good with both feet, but he was like a left-footed finisher. He was a natural left-sided player. That's the way I always think of things. Lundberg and Pires, they bring two completely different things to Arsenal back in the day. They were very hard to play against. When one subbed on for the other, it was just like mayhem. The defense was all at sea. Same thing with Havertz. He is a completely different player to what we have, and it's a breath of fresh air. He is dangerous. I mean, he is dangerous. He's loitering with intent. And like I said, every game at the moment, he wants the ball. Best position, attacking midfield. Yeah. And he can put his foot in. He can win the ball. He's a big lad.
Yeah. No,
he's got physical presence, so.
It's, you
he's a
big
big guy.
A good point because he played there for Leverkusen, I'm pretty sure, as well. Mm-hmm. That's the main position at Bayer Leverkusen, and we saw him.
He's a big guy, man. He's a big guy. He can put it about. Win the ball, hit us on the counter, get us moving, take a return, finish it off. Quick goal, and also he's close to the goal, attacking midfielder. Like, I can never see him doing a Thierry Henry, running the length of a field, beating 5 players. Just in the attacking midfield role, just in that area, win the ball, move it quick, get it left to Martinelli, spray the pass, Odegaard's coming onto it, make a run, receive the run, smash it in.
I mean, do you remember that game on that goal from Henry? I forgot who it was. Was it against Liverpool, Man United, where he won it back on his own half, and he sprang the whole length of the pitch to score?
He did it against Spurs as well. Yeah, Spurs.
Yeah.
Jamie Redknapp was the one that couldn't catch him.
Yes. Oh man.
And he beat Stephen Carr, and he beat them all ends up. Yeah, he did it to Liverpool. He did it against Spurs. I think is the one you were talking about.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. But all right, let's move on. We're going to talk about the Champions League now and the draw, obviously. We have drawn FC Porto from, of course, Portugal. Now, I'm pretty happy with the draw. I'm by no means, I'm not going to underestimate Porto because, we saw what happened last season with Sporting Lisbon. We got knocked out. And look, considering some of the other teams that was out there, we could have got Inter Milan, PSG, for example. We could have got Copenhagen, of course. I would have loved them. What was your thoughts on the draw initially, man? And how happy are you with it?
I think we were blessed. I'm happy with it, but I think they can put us out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be, guys, like I was heading out to the shop there earlier, getting a bit of bite to eat, and I was thinking about it. I don't want to come on Joss's channel and be the, I'm going to be the Grinch at Christmas. I don't want to be the mean, bitter Arsenal fan. That is the opposite of what I am as a person, yeah. I'm a positive person all around, but I just think that Porto, yeah, it could have been worse. But I think we need to be honest when we go to Porto. I hope that, I don't know, are we playing them? It's obviously over 2 legs, unless the rules have changed.
Yeah.
I hope that we have the second leg at the Emirates, so we can go there, maybe get a 1-1, or even if we lose by the odd goal, bring them back to the Emirates and destroy them. Okay, some teams have come to the Emirates in the Champions League previously, and we thought, like Marseille, it's a walk in the park, we're going to turn them over, and it didn't turn out like that. We got knocked out. Now, that was a good while ago. But we need to be careful. Yeah? Like, if we go there and we get something out of the game, that's only half the job done, guys. Just because we're bringing it back to the Emirates. Look, this is not the group stage, like when we lost to Lens and we had a second bite at the cherry. This is the real deal. This is the knockout phase. And whether we're home or away, we need to play with certain quality. And I think Porto will test us. We will be tested at the end of that game. We will know we've been in a match. We might squeeze through. Look, we are brilliant this season. We are playing well. Now, people will say they have their opinions. I think we're playing with a ruthlessness where we get the goals we need, regardless of if we're playing good or bad. And I like that ruthless streak that has developed in the team. But this is a different level, and Porto are a bit of an unknown quantity. But the same can be said for them when they're playing us. They don't know us that well. Like, actually, they don't play regularly against us week in, week out. They're not one of the teams that we have faced. I don't know, have we ever faced them in the Champions League before? Obviously, they have different manager, different players. Since the days of Jose Mourinho, that success, that was a long time ago. But we just need to be careful. I mean, it could have been worse, but I would not underestimate them. They made it out of the group. They qualified for the next round. I'm actually going to look later and see actually how they did and who they were up against and how they performed. I'm going to watch the highlights. Maybe you could do the same, Josh. Take 10 minutes and see who they've got and who's really good.
So
they know already who they've got, but
there's also in Barcelona, and they finished same points as Barcelona, and they got a draw against them, I think, as well. So
wow.
They also scored 5 goals past Shakhtar as well, and their strikers, they got like so many. Talemi, who's this Iranian guy, fantastic striker. Evan Lilson's a Brazilian guy, fantastic player. I mean, they got the veteran Pepe at centre back, who's about 40.
Okay.
So but they are currently third in their league. They're not doing that great. They lost to Sporting Lisbon yesterday as well. I still think it'd be a very tough game, but of course, we are happy with the draw considering some of the teams we could have got. But I want to ask you this question, right, Dave? This Champions League is at Wembley. We love Wembley, of course. Listen, this is a tough question for me to answer as well. Can this Arsenal team go all the way in this Champions League this season?
No. Unfortunately.
I mean, there's teams in there. I look at Real Madrid's. I'm afraid. I look at Bayern Munich. I'm afraid.
They're better than us, Josh.
I look at Man City. I'm afraid. Like those types of teams.
They're better than us, unfortunately, at the moment.
Yeah. Look, man. I don't know. I don't know what it is, Dave. Man. We've never won it in our history.
I know.
That's the most.
2006 was close, but yeah.
In 2006 against Barca, we went 1-0 up, 20 minutes left, and we lost. We never won it in our history.
Descending off turned the game, man. Descending off turned the game.
Yeah, with our goalkeeper, wasn't it? Yeah.
We were given as good as we were getting up until that point. Yeah, we were given as good as we were getting. We were causing them all kinds of problems in the forwards. It was a tight game. Etu decided it, It was Etu.
Yeah, that is what it is, man.
Descending off, man. Etu. He destroyed us.
What would you be happy with, though, in the Champions League? Like, your minimal expectation for us?
I'd be happy if we got to the semi-finals. I mean, I think that would be a season well done, but I want us to win the league. First things first, I want us to win the league. I want us to be league champions, because to be league champions, you need resilience. You need every single aspect of the game from A to Z. You need it all. You know what I mean? To be champions in England. And there's no league as competitive as this. It has never been as competitive as it is now, in my opinion. I think it would be a massive thing for the club to win a league, even if we just win one, Josh, in Arteta's whole reign. That is something that can never be taken away from the club. And this isn't for me that I can walk down the street in front of the lads and be acting the boy when I cross the road. This is for the football team. This is for the fans. This is for us. We have a great fan base, Josh. I mean, they're always talking about these Arteta fanboys and plastic fans. Look, I'm not going to get into it. That kind of thing doesn't interest me on my channel when I'm talking. I never mention that. But this is for the fans. We have a great fan base, Josh. We have some of the best fans out there. I mean, seriously. I want to tell a funny story, guys. Do we have 5 minutes to tell a funny story? 2 minutes.
Course, man. Yes, go ahead.
I was working, right? This is about Spurs. So I was working a couple of weeks ago. Now, I'm not the smallest fella in the world, but I'm not the biggest. Now, I was in work, and I was on my own. And I'm working in the city centre hotel. I won't say which one. So I'm working in London city centre. Maybe 20 minutes bus ride from the Emirates. And I was behind the bar. And these 3 animals came up. Rugby players, businessmen, and they were in London for like an award ceremony. One of them guys who could land a plane on his back. If he hit me, I would have ended up out at the Emirates. So I was there, right? The guy was just an absolute monster. Rugby players, guys. So I was there anyway, and I heard someone talking about a Spurs season ticket. And I don't know what happened but something inside me, the switch just clicked. I don't know. I think Arsenal is in my blood. Yeah. I just turned around and he goes, "Who's the Spurs fan?" With that kind of, judging tone. And he turned around, "Me." Big, huge guy. And there was 3 of them. And I turned around and I said, I'm a Gooner myself. And he said, "Yeah, I partly guessed that." And then he started it, yeah. He said, "I'd say you weren't saying that back in May." As if back in May when we capitulated that all the Arsenal fans went underground and we started hiding our allegiance, nobody was admitting to being an Arsenal fan. That's what he was getting at, yeah? So I thought, all right, let's see what you got. So I turned around and I said, yeah. I said, "You got a nice new stadium out there, boy. Nice new stadium out at Spurs." I said, "All you need now are some trophies to go in, And he just looked, right? And you could see he was just shocked. I said, yeah, you got a nice new stadium out there, boy. You just need a few trophies now to go in it." And he just walked off with the beer in his hand. His buddy was still ordering his pint. And you know what I had the audacity to say to his friend? "I don't think he's talking to me now." So I went out from behind the bar, yeah. I was after going nuts at this point, yeah. I was like, you know what I mean? He got my back up. So I was going out behind the bar, and like I was setting up the restaurant for the dinner service all on my own. And I was there alone with my thoughts. And I looked over at him, and my God, he was like a buffalo, man. You should have seen the size of this guy. And I turned around and I thought, did I really just say that to him? It's the Arsenal, man. It's the Arsenal in us, guys. When we hit that spot, yeah, when we are in the zone, I just couldn't stop myself. I didn't know what I was doing. And I was acting like, you know what I mean? I was wiling out when I was doing it. I wasn't like, yeah, that's because I was like this. Yeah, you know, I was so cheeky. And when that was funny. You've had to be in there, man. It was hilarious. But I thought later to myself, did I really just say that to him? And actually felt myself like, man, it was funny. If you had been there,
class, man. That's absolute class.
It's something that has maybe died in me, like since I got a little bit older. You know, the blood flows slower to the brain. You know what I mean? I'm not as hot-headed as I was when I was a younger man, but it's something about Spurs. It's something about their fans. It just got under my skin. And when he said that about all of us, you, me, he meant everyone. Yeah, like at the end of the season in May, when we had capitulated, that everybody was not admitting to being an Arsenal fan. Yeah, boy. What would he know about it? When's the last time they won something? Seriously, man, they couldn't win an argument. Their last trophy celebration, when they won the league, was in black and white. Check it out. It's in black and white. The homecoming is in black and white. The open top bus is in black and white. Let's move on.
Exactly. And am I right in saying that we've won the same? We've won the same amount of league titles at their own stadium than they have in their history as well, right?
Twice. Yeah.
Twice.
And they've won 2 league titles, though.
And they're trying to chat to us. Like, nah. They'll always be in our shadows, bro. Always.
Yeah. Like that, with this attitude, look, man, look at the trophy count, by 13 titles to 2, my friend, and that's just the league.
And Anthony's confirm your story.
Don't mind Anthony with his big arms. Don't mind him. I'll confirm my own story. Anthony, with his, you know what I mean? Anthony thinks he's the law of the land. Yeah, Anthony thinks he's Arteta. Anthony, you're not. I'm lifting up the mic here, okay? Anthony, you're not Arteta.
Anthony
You're not
thinks
the
I look
judge
like
of me, Anthony. Anthony, you're
Anthony
not the
thinks
judge of me.
Anthony keeps telling me I look like Arteta. He keeps saying I'm Arteta's doppelganger and all that. I'm like, I don't
You
see
don't
it.
look like Arteta. No offense.
Yeah, he keeps calling me Arteta like every single time. But yeah,
He's the
all
wind up
right.
merchant, though.
Last thing I want to talk about, we'll talk about a bit of transfer gossip, a bit of obviously this massive window coming up. Firstly, position-wise, we need a defender, another defender. I think we need a backup for Saka. I think if Saka gets injured, we've got to rely on Reece Nelson. I do think we need a bit of healthy competition there for Saka. Obviously, the strikers we both can agree on our main priority. The midfielder as well, because the midfield situation, right? Partey, we know he's injury prone. We don't know what's going on with Partey, right? You said it before. Your guess is as best as my guess, right? With Thomas Partey's situation, but he's leaving in January to go to AFCON. Same with El Neni.
Yeah.
And Jorginho's obviously got 6 months left on his contract, so he can start talking to clubs. Declan Rice is our main guy. But our midfield depth is going to be very limited when it comes to this January, right? You got Kai Havertz playing there, Declan Rice and Jorginho. That is it. That is it at the moment. So I think, of course, midfielder is our main priority. But for you, right, I want to know your positions. Like, if you was there, do what positions and what players you want to see Arsenal go and sign in this January window?
That's a very good question, man. Like to replace Saka. I don't know who we could get in to replace him, to be honest. I mean, obviously we need to take the pressure off him. We can't afford to happen what we did last season. That can't be allowed to happen what happened last season. You know what I mean? I'm looking at the transfer news here now myself. I mean, the only thing they mentioned regarding us is Solanke, that he's preferred as an alternative to Tony. I think he's a good player, but as a player to replace, Bukayo Saka, we do need to look into getting somebody. There's no doubt about that. And have a look replacements for him. I mean, the thing is that we actually, I mean, I don't want to go off the point here, but what about Emile Smith-Rowe? The forgotten man at the club.
Yeah.
He seems to have been cast aside. Like, he's a robust player, Josh. He's very robust. He can do a job for us. He's a big, strong guy. We're not utilizing what we have on the bench. Instead, we play Fabio Vieira. We played the likes of El Neni. Like you said, in January, they're all going to be gone off to the AFCON, yeah? What are we going to do then? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, and Thomas Partey anyway, I don't know, is he actually going to be on his way out of the club after that? I don't know. I just think, I don't know, man. I think we're being linked with a lot of players from Wolverhampton.
Pedro Neto is the main
Wolverhampton,
one.
Pedro Neto, exactly. A lot of players from Wolverhampton, but for me, like, Bukayo Saka is irreplaceable. But who could come in and fill in a job just to give him a bit of breathing space? See, the thing is, we don't want to run him into the ground. That's the whole thing.
That's the
thing that I don't figure out about, like, Mikel Arteta and Edu. One thing I can't understand about those two guys. Now, I met Edu, yeah. I spoke to that man. What we spoke about, I'm not going to share on this. I don't want to get you banned off YouTube. But I had a chat to that man, yeah. I had a chat to that man in central London. I bumped into him a year ago. And I remember exactly what he said to me, yeah. But the thing is, I remember our conversation like it was yesterday. But the thing is, we, like, man, I have to lose my train of thought thinking of Edu. That was an explosive meeting. But the thing is, we don't, like, Edu and Arteta, like, why don't they do like the main man Arsene Wenger back in the day? Now, Wenger was manager at AS Monaco. He used to play them for a while. When he came to the Premier League, he had a lot of contacts in the J League, where he also coached in Japan with Nagai Grand Passade. He also had his contacts in French League One. Gilles Germondi, Emmanuel Petit, Robert Pires. He had these contacts in the French League. Remy Gard, guys like that. He had these contacts where he brought these players over. Nicolas Anelka. Wenger was very much more a man that could get the job done on his own. Nobody was pulling the strings behind his back. This was him. And his reputation brought these players to us. Now, not Dennis Bergkamp. He was at the club before Wenger arrived. Bruce Rioch signed him.
Yeah.
But the French contingent, I don't know why Mikel Arteta is not looking in Spain. Now, you don't need to pay 100 million. Huh? He's not looking in Spain. Edu with his contacts in Brazil, looking around and going, okay, who's available? Who can come to the club? You know, from like the Spanish leagues. That doesn't seem to happen with us. It's like, I don't know, they don't have the contacts, and it's very important in football. I know times have changed since the Wenger days. I get it. I know things have changed in the transfer market, but these guys do not seem to have the contacts in place to actually bring the players to the club. Or am I wrong? Guys, prove me wrong, but they don't. You don't see Mikel Arteta taking a flight over, contacting some old buddies at some of the clubs he's played with, or the contacts he has, or former Manchester City coaches or players that have noticed the player. Like, they should be building up like a rapport with these people and always keeping in contact, because you never know when the next Patrick Vieira will come along. You never know when the next Thierry Henry will come along. And Thierry Henry came to Arsenal as a winger. We transformed him into a striker. Very effectively, the most fearsome player to ever play in the Premier League. I mean, incredible. You know what I mean? It's just we don't seem to use these links, these contacts. They don't seem to be building them up. Everything with us as well in the transfer market is slow. Like, why do Spurs attract better players than us? Okay, we got Declan Rice, but why do Spurs, Liverpool, United, even now Chelsea have been doing it for how many seasons? They seem to be more attractive to foreign players coming to the clubs than players coming to Arsenal. Okay, now we got Champions League football back. The team is on the up. But you've got to admit, man, Spurs have made some shrewd signings in the league. And they've got themselves one hell of a coach. Liverpool, I mean, Mohamed Salah, this player is a god. Virgil van Dijk. Like, Salah, when he's at his best, he's a little bit dipped now, but when he was at his peak, unplayable. Liverpool get the players. United get the players. Spurs have made some cracking signings. Maddison, what a player.
Bissouma as well.
Yeah, exactly. But what about us? You know what I mean? We always tend to be kind of slow making a move for players. It's like are we holding on to the purse strings too tight? We're not willing to spend the money. We don't react as quick. Ask people in the chat here what they think. We don't react to signings as quick. The whole Declan Rice affair, I get it. It was a long, drawn-out process. West Ham wanted to get what they wanted for their best player ever. But we're notoriously slow at getting the signings done, getting it over the line, getting the name on the team sheet. And now with Saka, I mean, last season, he got driven into the ground. I mean, he had no more to give. When we capitulated, he was on his last legs at that point. It wasn't just Saliba missing out. It was, and Arteta and Edu, they should have seen this coming from a long way off. Like, this was our best chance of winning the league in how long? And they just let that happen. It was inevitable. It was inevitable that would happen to Saka. Inevitable. That he would run out of steam. He might get injured. Martinelli the same. I mean, these are young guys we're talking about here. We ran them into the ground last season. And the same thing again, we didn't have the necessary cover. When Saliba got injured, Rob Holding came in. And ask anybody, I say the same thing. Regardless of the mistakes that Holding made and the goals that we conceded, he came in and he did the job and he played to the best of his ability. Arteta is the one that put him in there. Holding played to the very best of his ability. I'm going off a little bit off pointer, guys, but you know what I'm saying? We should have had backup for Saliba. We should have had a transfer done and a ready-made replacement. All that needed to happen was for Saliba to get injured, and we were fucked, Josh.
Yeah.
Pardon my language. That's what happened. That is exactly what happened. All that needed to happen for us to capitulate was for Saliba, who had been immense all season. He got injured. We were fucked. And it was a back injury. I mean, the guy was out. Poor Rob Holding came in, and he did his best. He played his best. He played to the level that he's at. He didn't let anybody down. There was actually other fellas around him, bottled it. He was one of the guys that actually stood up. Reece Nelson was another guy that stood up and was counted. There was other more experienced guys around him, bottled it. So I don't know, but I mean, the Saliba thing, we should have had someone ready to back him up. If he gets injured again this season, there's some tough games to come, yeah? Maybe at Anfield. God forbid. There's some tough. The Champions League. We always seem notoriously slow at getting the deal done, getting players over the line. And even now with this striker in January, Chris, we need more than that. That should have been taken care of in the summer. It's
100%. Look.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Big up Eddie, man, but come on. Nketiah, come on, man.
But the thing is, this is another thing I look on in terms of our transfer and how we deal with transfers is how we get rid of players. I find it atrocious. We don't get enough money for them. Look at Liverpool, yeah?
Yeah, it's
Liverpool,
like a freebie.
Look at how much they sold Jordan Ibe, how much they sell Solanke for. They got 30, 40 million for these players. Yeah, and we're selling players from free transfers.
We also give teams players when they're at their peak, and we give them to rivals. Van Persie to United, Sanchez, Alexis Sanchez. Okay, Sanchez had a nightmare. He only scored twice when he went to United, but Van Persie won the league with United. Now I'm going back a bit. Yeah, Van Persie came back to haunt us at the Emirates. He won the league with United. We give them players at the top. Chelsea, for example, give us Willian. They give us Havertz, but they give us Willian. They also give us David Luiz.
David Luiz, yeah.
Guys that we're not on it anymore. You know what I mean? They gave us. We give them Van Persie when he was at his peak. We gave them Sanchez when he was at his peak. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that. And that's another thing. We don't get any players in return, and we don't get enough money for them when we send them out. You remember when we gave Gnabry away? Next minute, he was at Bayern scoring 5 goals in one game. His career just took off. Tell me the difference. What was going on with Bayern and Arsenal? We were playing the same way. We're both good teams. We let Gnabry go. All of a sudden, he was like Young Player of the Year or something. You remember his performances for Bayern? I was like,
of course.
What happened to That's Gnabry? And we let him go. I was like, God, man, seriously. And we didn't get enough money for him. We don't do enough. Like you said, we could have sent Nketiah to, who was it, Brighton, or who wanted him? Someone
Crystal
wanted
Palace.
Crystal Palace, yeah. Was that under Vieira, was it? When was that when Vieira was there? But anyway.
Yeah. Patrick Vieira wanted him, yeah.
And what does a man like Patrick Vieira have to do to get recognised as a coach? We took Arteta in, former player, slipped it under the radar. Let's have it right now, yeah? He's a former player. He's not an Arsenal legend. Arteta came into the club. Nowhere. He's not fit to tie Vieira's boots. What about Paddy Vieira? What about Paddy Vieira? As a coach at Arsenal, I would love to see it. One day. Why not? You know what I mean? People got Arteta in. They got Arteta in quickly because he was a former player. That's what got it past my guard. I was like, okay, a former player. Mikel Arteta. We all knew about him. You know what I mean? But as a coach, I mean, he's been there a couple of years now. It's been 700 million. It's been a couple of years. I think we had a couple of FA Cup successes. That's the way it is, man. Which Serge? Not my German Serge Gnabry.
Yeah.
Gnabry. The machine.
Gnabry, that one.
He scores 5 times in a row, you know what I mean? And each goal was like a carbon copy of the other one. He just hit it with the inside of the boot into the corner. I was like, what? Honestly, man.
He's quality.
He's quality. We give away some good players. The players we take in, like Chelsea, for example, have been giving us a lot of crap recently. Yeah, William Gallas. What a muppet.
Remember Ashley Cole? Do you remember Ashley Cole as well?
And what's that young French player who used to play for Arsenal? Fight between Gallas and he went to Manchester City. Nasri. He went to Man City after.
Sam Nasri, yeah.
Between him and Nasri on the French team bus. Gallas saying, "Get out of my seat." Then they were both teammates in Arsenal, and Gallas was at fault for all the goals in the games we lost. And then he was giving advice to the young fellas. He was the one that was costing us the games. Honestly, man, the players we take from Chelsea, the players that we give to other teams, ridiculous. Anyway,
what about Ashley Cole?
Yeah, Cashley. What about Cashley? Cashley was a great player. You know what I mean? Cashley Cole. He loves the cash. One of the best players that ever played for the club, man. I respect him. His ex, Cheryl, cracker. All right. Cheryl Cole. Guys, I don't want to get you banned off YouTube, Josh, but you mentioned Ashley, I think of Cheryl. When everyone says to me, even when I'm at work or whatever, they mention Ashley Cole, I have to walk away and have a cold shower when I think of Cheryl, man. My God in heaven, man. I'm not going to go into money. I got my Christmas party tomorrow, yeah? I'm going to be drinking. Yeah. She's going to come into my mind. It's going to happen. What a woman, man. So Ashley, big up as a player, man. But seriously, messing Cheryl around. Come on, man. Have a word. You know what I mean? A bird like that doesn't come along every day.
Agreed, bro. Agreed.
Man. Princess. If I saw her, I'd be down on one knee. She's a princess. I'm not as good looking as I used to be, guys. I could do without having a shave. But I'd be down on one knee. Down on one knee. Anyway.
I hear you, man. Yeah. Look, another
There
thing
might
we got to
actually
take
buy Cheryl. Cheryl
exactly,
Cole
bro.
for Arsenal by. Cheryl Cole for
Exactly.
manager.
But another thing we got to take in consideration, yeah, with this window is this whole. We're apparently on FFP watch, yeah, because of how much we spent in the summer.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very hard to sign these players that we need, isn't it, man? I mean,
We
you look
need
at
to sell.
and we
We
got
need
to
to
talk about
sell
an
players.
example again. We got to talk about Chelsea because they able to spend 1 billion,
Yeah.
but they did it smart because they put players on long contracts, like 7-year, 8-year contracts. We didn't do that.
They
Hence
spaced
why
it
they're
out.
not been
They
effective.
spaced it out over a period. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's all about selling players before obviously we go out there and buy it. As you said, it's going to be very hard to get the players that we want, isn't it, in this January window?
Yeah. I'm just looking in the comments there. Look, AFC always. The one before that, yeah. The one before that. Yeah.
We all know what Dave does before he goes to sleep.
If anybody knows me, yeah, my actual last name is Cole.
Dave got
Cheryl Cole. It's a match made in heaven. She already has my last name. Oh my god. I won't be doing anything thinking of her. Okay, AFC always. It won't be. Not this time. My missus looks like Cheryl Cole. I tell her all the time she's punching. She's punching what? Punching you. I can't understand Anthony's messages. He's got no full stops, no apostrophes. Grammar's all over the place. The spelling is correct, but everything is all over the shop in Anthony's messages. I can't understand him at all. I understand him when he's talking with his strong accent, but I don't know what he'd be texting. I honestly don't have a clue what that means. What does that actually mean? I know I'm Irish, my accent, look. I know I sound like a potato, but I don't know what he'd be talking about. What is he? And like, I put the baseball cap backwards and he's still not helping me out. What does that actually mean? What language is that? What's he talking about? Do you know what he's talking about? Me and Anthony, man, we're like the terrible team, man.
Yeah,
we're like the duo. Anyway, what were we saying, man? Before I was got off on one there.
I was talking about it'll be hard for us to sign our players that we want, isn't it?
We need to sell players. They said as well that we need to actually financially, because of first we need to sell players to be able to buy players. So we're not in a position to kind of just open the checkbook right now. And Ketia, like these guys should have been sold. I mean, do we really need what's the guy that used to play in the Swiss league? I used to live in Switzerland before. Midfielder Mohamed El Neni. Do we really need Mohamed El Neni? Do we really need Eddie Nketiah? Like their signings, the money we make on them could maybe offshoot the cost and the financial fair play rules towards a new striker. I mean, that's why we're in disarray. Like I said, this should have been organized in summertime. Yeah, they don't seem to have a kind of the portfolio. They don't seem to have a kind of an idea to push forward. 30 likes, big up, man. Seriously, that's a lot.
Cheers, people.
Big up, man. Big up to everyone. Yeah, but we don't seem to have the game plan. Yeah, we don't seem to have the game plan since last summer. Like Josh, if you were the manager of Arsenal tomorrow, my friend, yeah, guaranteed season end in May. You're the manager. Way before the season ends in May, January, February, after the next window, yeah, I'm sure in February you've got a shortlist already done, Josh. Positions and players that you think could fit the role in the club. Now you're watching training, yeah. You're seeing who's doing what. You could just be like that. Okay, midfield, defense, attack, and you've got a shortlist. At least 5 players for each position, because you're not going to get maybe your first or second choice. They don't seem to have that organization. I mean, this should have been taken care of in the summertime. And the Deadwood, look, it's nice giving the players a hug and a kiss. They are there, everything's going to be grand by. But you're doing them no favours by keeping them at the club. Ramsdale the same. His England career has gone down the pan. You know what I mean? He needs to move on. And Ketia needs to move on if he wants
Cedric. What about Cedric, bro, as well?
Terrible player. You know what I mean? Big up to my man, Pablo Mari. We moved him on. Pablo was stabbed, I think, like 2 years ago in Milan. Big up to my man, Pablo. Yeah, he actually got stabbed in the back. Big up to Pablo Mari, man. The only reason that he actually survived that attack, guys, to any of you that don't know, he was just in a supermarket with the missus, pushing a shopping trolley. Guy came up and put a knife into his back. The only reason that Pablo survived was because he's like 6'6", and the guy couldn't actually get the knife up higher. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Do you hear that? No, that's why he survived. They said because of his sheer height, the guy couldn't actually, get him in like the chest or the heart area or the neck.
My God.
He could only get him like in the lower back. and that's what saved his life because he's sheer
That's
size. Yeah?
crazy.
The guy couldn't get the range and the reach on it. Yeah. Big up my man Pablo Mari, boy.
Big up, bro.
Gooner,
Big up.
he's a Gooner forever, boy. Big up
Yeah.
Pablo Mari, Gooner forever. He ain't 6'6", he's 7'9". He's huge anyway, in my opinion. He's tall though, yeah. His height, the guy couldn't get him. You know what I mean? If he had been like my height, I'm 5'10". Cold turkey. That's 6'3". It's enough. It saved his life. Anyway, I'm going to hit the road, man.
It's been a pleasure, man.
Let me give this 5 minutes anyway. Let me give this 5 minutes, man. I just want to thank Josh. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank absolutely everybody, man, for your support to my channel. Smash the like for Josh. Listen, I'm going to talk openly now, yeah? No shit talk, guys. Josh's channel is one of the best out there. Now, I'm not going to talk crap, yeah? You don't get close to 6,000 subscribers, guys, and no disrespect, Josh, and not be like Troops. You know, Troops is like a household name in YouTube, you know, Troops, AFTV. Josh, with his channel, is close to 6,000 subscribers. Now, you don't get close to that, guys. Check out his channel, yeah? When I'm not there, when other people aren't there, he's got a lot of people commenting. He's got a lot of people watching. Some of the stuff that Josh does, like he brings up the statistics, he has different windows open. The intro for today's stream, for example. I mean, the guy puts in work. Look at the layout here. He puts in work, yeah? So of all the YouTubers out there, unfortunately, I'm working most times. I don't have the chance to collaborate, but I'm going to make more of an effort to collaborate with you, Josh.
Of course.
Look at his channel, guys. Guys, look at his previous content. This guy puts effort into his channel, yeah? So big up to you, Josh, yeah? And I want to thank you for having me on your show. And anyone that knows me, guys, I don't talk crap. I give credit where it's due. If there's no credit to be given, I give none. But credit to you, Josh, yeah? The guy's got a channel. He's up and coming. He works hard. And you're one for the future, Josh, man. This channel with you, it can go places. You've got a talent, man, and you've got a good show, and you are also polite, and that goes a long way. If you and I have differing opinions, you hear me out, I hear you out. That's how I do my channel. I've been on some channels, boys, and people be at each other's throats. I don't come on for that. You know what I mean? You're respectful. You bring people on, and you treat people with respect. Guys, support Josh's channel, yeah? I'm be serious, man. You're a real one. Big up to you, man. When you asked me the other day would I come on, you know what? I said, yeah, I will. Because it's you. So thank you, yeah? And I appreciate it, man. Big up, guys. Remember, guys, we're all supporting the one club at the end of the day, yeah? Whether you're Arteta in, out, this, that, or the other. If the team are pushing towards a title like this season, they look like they want to have a go, come out and support the team. I'm not saying buy the merch. This is like 3 or 4 seasons old, but come out and support the team for the 90 minutes. That is the main thing. Support Arsenal Football Club, guys. We're all fans at the end of the day. To hell with my YouTube channel. Support the team. Support the team. Yeah? Because we need fans like Josh, myself, Anthony, Sasky Gooner, AFC always, all the people that come on my channel. We need these fans. Yeah? We need these fans. All right, guys. That's all I'm going to say. Come out and support Josh's channel, guys.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, yeah. Talk, man. You've got a good channel. You've got it going on, man.
Mate, you too as well, bro. And we have to do this again.
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Do you know what I mean? Modest.
I've absolutely loved it today, man. Thank you very much for taking your time.
It's been a pleasure, yeah. It's been a pleasure.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and we've got to do it again, bro. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again,
absolutely. I'm game ball, yeah. I'm game ball.
Mate, take care. Keep smashing it with
I just got to give a warning to people as well. Tomorrow night I'll be on my Christmas party. So if you see that I am like live streaming after 6 p.m. and you join the stream, bear this in mind, guys. I will be intoxicated. So there you go. So what happens? It's your own fault, okay? Don't be blaming me the next day. You did this, not me. I will be intoxicated. So there's a warning, guys, okay? You'll come on the stream. My pants will probably be on my head. Don't be coming on the stream thinking, yeah, oh, it's G this, oh, it's G that. Guys, I will be drunk. I will be drunk, okay? Gosh, have I got that across. Did I? Everyone understands,
of course. Yeah, of course, man. Big up yourself as well,
Josh, man. Yeah, take care of yourself, yeah.
You too, man. Really, really appreciate it.
All the best, let's do something this season, yeah. Let's do something real.
Yeah, of course, bro. Yeah,
let's go for it. Yeah. Let's go for it. Come on, you Gooners, guys. Support Josh. Yeah. Peace.
Big up, man. Absolute legend. Take care, bro. All the best.
Thanks,
guys, what a legend, eh? What a legend, my man. Dave is from OldSkoolGunner. If you're not subscribed to him already, make sure you do it. Literally, I'm sure most of you did it in the chat anyway. I'm sure most of you have known him absolutely regular. But yeah, exactly AFC Always, man. A drunken old school gunner incoming. Yeah, absolute legend, man. Look, this was a fantastic show. Everyone in the chat as well. Thank you guys so much. You know, all the real ones in the chat, as always. My man Tony, early doors. Big up yourself, bro. Moss, absolute legends. AFC Always. Craig, absolute legend. Anthony, absolute legend, mate. We'll be in touch about you coming on here as well, man. Because basically, guys, this is a brand new show. This is a debut of a new show. I thought I'll get OldSkoolGunner to obviously do like to make his debut on the channel, and might as well do like the new premiere of this new show that I'm doing. But it's going to be OldSkoolGunner. It's going to be many different types of Arsenal fans coming on here. We'll do one-on-ones, basically debates all about Arsenal, all to do with Arsenal. We'll do this as a regular thing every single week now. The channel's evolving, people, and thank you guys so much for the support, man. Really, really do appreciate it. But yeah, big up everyone in the chat. Big up Jordan as well. Everyone else who tuned in earlier, apologies if I missed anyone out. But yeah, absolute legends. Luca was in there earlier as well. Big up to you, Luca. Yeah, I'm getting myself out of here, people. We're back tomorrow as always. We've got a big build-up happening. Of course, Liverpool, Arsenal preview, predicted lineups, opposition previews. We've got a few Liverpool fans coming on the channel as well. It's going to be lit, people. We're going to have a special podcast coming as well for the big game. We're building it up massively. The biggest game of the season so far. It's going to be massive, people. I'll see you guys then. I'm going to go and relax now. I'm going to go and enjoy it. Obviously, I broke up for college now. No more college for me. It's Christmas. Everyone have a banning Christmas as well. And what a show today, people. Absolute legends in the chat as always. Take care to you as well, Tony, man. I appreciate you tuning in. Yes, mate. I'll definitely be in touch, bro. Definitely be in touch. It'll probably be sometime next week. I know it's Christmas. Probably be after Christmas now. But yeah, no, we'll definitely be in touch, bro. But yeah, big up everyone. Take care, everyone. And we're back to more, people. Thanks so much for the support. If you haven't watched my other stream as well, when you have time, go and check that out, people. I spoke about Dominic Solanke to Arsenal and also Onana to Arsenal, a bit of transfer news as well. But yeah, the channel's going, evolving, new shows coming, left, right, and centre. Lots of transfer videos coming as well when January happens as well. It's going to be lit, people. And all I can thank you guys is, all I can thank is you guys, always tuning in, always showing your support. We're getting out of it, people. Take care, you absolute legends. Enjoy the rest of your evenings, and I'll see you tomorrow. Come on, the Gunners. We're out of here. Ciao, peeps.